Hello there, very good evening and welcome to the news tonight here on Sabha TV. In the next 30 minutes, me, Tracy Shilji, will be getting you all the day's top stories from India and across the world, starting with the headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi leads over 30,000 people in celebrating the second International Yoga Day, urges one and all to embrace yoga without stoking controversies. President Pranab Mukherjee also joins in the celebrations as thousands perform asanas across the world and even on water and up in the air. All eyes on ISRO's record launch on Wednesday, set to send 20 satellites on its reliable rocket, the PSLV C-34. Plans to tighten the noose on tax defaulters in the country. Income Tax Department to invoke provisions of arrest, detention and auctioning of assets. And China lowers its resistance to India's NSG membership bid by a notch, says members should discuss issue of giving entry to non-NPT signees, but also continues to push for Pakistan's bid. Our top story, more than 30,000 yoga enthusiasts celebrated the second International Day of Yoga today, led by Prime Minister Narendra Modi at Capitol Complex in Chandigarh. The Prime Minister made a strong pitch for yoga to be embraced by one and all without stoking controversies.
Leading from the front once again, Prime Minister Narendra Modi sought to take yoga's popularity to a new level by making a clear distinction between yoga and religion, and also urging the people to use yoga for their own benefit as well as that of society.
Taking recent controversies head-on, Prime Minister used the second International Yoga Day to steer yoga firmly away from criticism of any kind.
ये धार्मिक कर्मकांड नहीं है। योग इहलोक में तुम्हें मन को शांति कैसे मिलेगी, शरीर को स्वस्थता कैसे मिलेगी, समाज में एक सूत्रता कैसी बनी रहेगी, उसकी ताकत देता है। ये परलोक का विज्ञान नहीं है।
Listing its various health benefits, the Prime Minister urged everyone to embrace yoga.
प्रिवेंटिव हेल्थ केयर के जितने उपाय हैं, उसमें योग एक सरल, सस्ता और हर किसी को उपलब्ध ऐसा मार्ग है। आप खुद के लिए, खुद से जुड़ने के लिए, खुद को जानने के लिए, खुद की क्षमता को बढ़ाने के लिए मैं आपसे आग्रह कर रहा हूं, इंतजार मत कीजिए। इस जीवन में योग को जीवन का हिस्सा बना दीजिए।
In an attempt to make yoga more popular, Modi also announced 2 new awards to be given from next year.
2 अवार्ड घोषित करने जा रहा हूं। अंतर्राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर योग के लिए उत्तम काम हो रहा हो, उनके लिए अवार्ड। दूसरा, भारत में हिंदुस्तान के भीतर योग के लिए जो उत्तम काम होता होगा, उनके लिए अवार्ड।
The focus of this year's International Yoga Day celebration was the participation of Divyangs, a term that the Prime Minister coined to describe differently abled yoga enthusiasts at the event. Personnel from Defence Forces, ITBP, Punjab University students, yoga foundations, school children and a select few from yoga orientation training camps were also part of the main event at the Capitol Complex in Chandigarh on Tuesday. With camera person DK Pandey, this is Vishal Daya's report for Rajya Sabha TV, Chandigarh.
And celebrations were held elsewhere too across the country and the world. President Pranab Mukherjee performed asanas at Rashtrapati Bhavan with over 1,000 people in tow. But the Yoga Day events were not restricted to land alone. There was a special program on INS Virat and on board a private airliner. The world too joined in.
President Pranab Mukherjee urged people to make yoga an integral part of their lives as he led about 1,000 people at an event at Rashtrapati Bhavan to mark the second International Yoga Day.
In having solutions to many problems, health-wise, mental discipline-wise, and the overall harmony between body and mind.
Besides the President and the Prime Minister, 57 union ministers led people in Yoga Day celebrations across the country. In Delhi, government events were held at 7 different locations.
The yoga program organized by the government, it's a people's program. We want to make it people's movement, and the Guruji is making it a people's movement. I'm very happy about it. Nobody should see politics in this.
Diplomats of several nations also marked the second International Yoga Day by performing various asanas in New Delhi.
We're delighted to be out here for Yoga Day. It's a big part of what the community does on a pretty regular basis, and we are really proud to take part in this day to recognize yoga. It is also a really important way to connect the mind with the body. We know this is such a passion of the people here in India.
I'm so grateful for India for initiating this global effort of Day of Yoga in which all the people in the world are joining in. This is such a wonderful feeling.
Yoga unite all the people. You see the way people gather here and everywhere. I think it's also good for relation between among nations.
The celebrations extended from land to air and water too. Over 1,000 sailors practiced yoga in the shipyard of Indian Navy's aircraft carrier INS Virat in Mumbai. One of India's private airlines also joined in the celebrations, and its aircrew began the journey by holding a yoga session with flyers.
इंटरनेशनल योगा डे 2016 के उपलक्ष्य में पश्चिमी बेड़े के करीब 1100 नौसैनिक और अधिकारी योगा कर रहे हैं। ये सिर्फ आज के लिए नहीं है, आज के लिए थोड़ा ज्यादा लोग हैं क्योंकि लार्ज स्केल पे है। अदरवाइज हर यूनिट हर रोज अपनी दिनचर्या में फिजिकल एक्सरसाइज जिसमें योगा भी इंक्लूडेड है वो करता है।
योगा एक हेरिटेज है, कल्चर है और एक ट्रेडिशन है। इट्स अमैलगमेशन ऑल दिस थिंग्स और इंडिया का एक प्राइड है। तो मैं समझता हूँ कि ये एक ऐसी पद्धति है जिससे कि आपकी लाइफ को आप बहुत ही कंफर्टेबल वे में आसानी से इसको इम्प्रूव कर सकते हैं।
Celebrations were spread all across the globe. In New York, thousands of yogis flocked to the famed Times Square to celebrate the summer solstice.
Both sides of your body. Lower the right knee to the floor. Look forward and now press down into the earth's energy.
The Indian Embassy in Paris also organized an event at the iconic Eiffel Tower a day early. The event attracted a large number of yoga enthusiasts. In a statement, the embassy said more than 300 yoga enthusiasts participated in the celebrations. With inputs from Navvikram Singh, Bureau Report for Rajya Sabha TV.
And here's something for the critics. The increased focus on yoga by the Narendra Modi-led NDA government appears to have improved job opportunities in yoga training. According to a recent study conducted by ASSOCHAM, the demand for yoga trainers is likely to grow by 40% in the next couple of years. Even yoga tourism is fast catching up.
The big yoga push by the NDA government has increased the job prospects of those who have graduated in the subject. And increased awareness towards wellness and health-related activities has augmented this trend. Even small towns are seeing a big surge in enrollments for yoga classes. About 14.3 million people in India practiced yoga in 2013, more than double from the 6.3 million in 2001. Celebrities have also contributed to the popularity of the discipline.
We see that on an average, there is a 40% demand of the instructors in the corporate sector itself. And as the focus of the government increases and the layout and more awareness increases, it's likely to go up.
The government is also drawing out a roadmap to promote yoga as a product to attract more tourists in the country. It has also decided to give tourist visas and e-tourist visas to foreigners willing to undergo short-term courses on yoga.
Ayurveda, yoga will be the constituents of this project, and it will be boost India's economy and India's heritage. I think it will be good. We will get a good response from them.
India's yogic culture spread worldwide since Swami Vivekananda presented it to the world in Chicago in 1893. And after Prime Minister Narendra Modi proposed the idea, the UN General Assembly adopted an India-led resolution declaring June 21 as International Day of Yoga. Kriti Mishra, Rajya Sabha TV.
Now, with Yoga Day celebrations over, the focus now shifts to ISRO's mega launch of 20 satellites on board one rocket. The launch, scheduled for Wednesday, will see PSLV C-34 carrying the satellites, including India's Earth observation spacecraft Cartosat-2 from Sriharikota. The payload will include 17 satellites of various countries. ISRO has so far launched 57 satellites of foreign countries on 18 different PSLV missions.
The Indian Space Research Organisation will make a record of sorts when it launches 20 satellites in a single mission on Wednesday. The maximum number of satellites that ISRO has launched in a single mission so far is 10. The satellites will be launched on ISRO's most reliable rocket, PSLV C-34, at 9:25 a.m. from Sriharikota.
20 सैटेलाइट का लॉन्च करने के लिए काफ़ी एनालिसिस करना पड़ता है, क्योंकि हर एक सैटेलाइट को रिलीज़ करने के बाद जो मिशन के हिसाब से सेंटर ऑफ ग्रेविटी कहाँ जाता है और कैसे उसको रीओरिएंटेशन करना पड़ेगा और एक दूसरे से टक्कर ना करे, इसके लिए काफ़ी एनालिसिस करके हमको तैयार करना पड़ता है.
In its 36th flight, the Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle PSLV C-34 will launch the 727.5 kg Cartosat-2 series satellite to map the cartographic information of the Earth's surface and 19 co-passenger satellites. The co-passengers include 13 satellites from the USA, 2 from Canada, 1 from Germany and 1 from Indonesia, as well as 2 Indian nano-satellites. These 2 Indian satellites are named Swayam and Satyabhama University in Chennai.
इसमें करीब 1288 किलोग्राम का कुल मिला के पेलोड्स है. हमारा प्राइम पेलोड है करीब 700 किलोग्राम का है. मतलब आधा से करीब आधा वजन बाहर के जो पेलोड्स है उसमें से आता है. तो हमारा जो सैटेलाइट का लॉन्चिंग का कॉस्ट होगा हमको कम पड़ेगा इसमें, क्योंकि हमको करीब आधा कॉस्ट इससे रिकवर हो जाता है. तो हमारे लिए एक जैसे सब्सिडी हो जाएगा.
इसमें खास कर जो है ये है कि 2 सैटेलाइट इसमें जो होंगे इंडियन यूनिवर्सिटी से, जिसमें कि उन जगहों में कई सारे स्टूडेंट्स ने इसमें काम किया है. तो ये एक बहुत ही अच्छी जो है शुरुआत है, जिसमें जिन्होंने इसमें काम किया है उनकी जो इसमें क्षमता बढ़ रही है. इसके अलावा ये जो है औरों को भी कितना ही इंस्पायरिंग होगा.
ISRO launched 10 satellites in one go in 2008 when it placed them into various low Earth orbits. Aruna Thakur's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
On to more national news, and in a bid to deal with the increasing number of tax defaulters, the Income Tax Department has asked its officers to invoke the rare provisions of arrest, detention and auctioning of attached assets of such evaders. In a strategy paper for the current fiscal, the IT department has introduced a series of measures to check activities of willful tax defaulters, including blocking the permanent account number, making them ineligible to apply for bank loans. The department has also decided to subscribe to the Credit Information Bureau Limited data to check the financial activities of defaulters. IT department has also decided to publicly name taxpayers who've defaulted 1 crore rupees and above. With that, let's take you through what else is making news across the country in Nationwide. A top Lashkar-e-Toiba commander has been arrested in Kashmir's Kupwara district. Abu Ushkaha was rounded up in the Sogam area on Monday evening. Working under the alias Hanzula, he was found with a grenade and 38,000 rupees in cash. Immediately after his arrest, a major combing operation was launched to nab his associates. The CBI today questioned Vikramaditya Singh, son of Himachal Pradesh Chief Minister Veerbhadra Singh, in a disproportionate assets case. During CBI's preliminary inquiry, Vikramaditya had claimed that some of his assets were from money or provided by his father. The probe team questioned him on the difference in the claims made by Veerbhadra and him, where the CM had put the onus of explaining the assets of his wife and children on them. Delhi's Anti-Corruption Bureau will soon question Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal and Sheila Dikshit in connection with the alleged 400 crore water tanker scam. The ACB chief said that the duo will be quizzed as their names appear in the complaints received by them. Dikshit was the chairperson of the Delhi Jal Board when the tankers were purchased. She was already dismissed. In fact, she has already dismissed the allegation as politically motivated. An accident in Kundapur area of Karnataka claimed the lives of 8 school children, leaving 12 others injured. The accident occurred when a private bus and a school van collided. A total of 19 people were in the van at the time of the accident. The injured have been admitted to 2 hospitals in Kundapur and Manipal. With a quick break here, we'll be back with the international news in a bit. Do stay with us.
How are you really going to bring about a balancing act between the hardline and the moderate groups?
The Prime Minister has said, whatever my party president has said, is the line that which we are going to adopt.
Another trouble for the BJP is Varun Gandhi. At the National Executive, we saw his posters plastered across the city. Apparently, Modi ji didn't like this fact.
When these enthusiast supporters do something like that, they don't realize that they can, rather than doing good for their leader, they can do harm for the leader.
Watch To The Point with BJP National Secretary and spokesperson Siddharth Nath Singh only on Rajya Sabha television.
From cowries to metal pieces, Indian currency has seen many changes. The earliest punch-marked coins came from Gandhar. The East India Company at the turn of the 19th century also minted its own coins. The Indo-Greek coins come from a colony left behind by Alexander. They depict the golden rule of the Guptas, with embossed human portraits and matrimonial alliances like Chandragupta Maurya's wedding with Seleucus I Nicator's daughter.
Hello and a warm welcome to It's My Life, the program that brings you face to face with country's top politicians.
You know, I've been flying for a very long time. It's a passion of mine.
अगर मैं बोलूं मिठाई, कराची हलवा, कॉमेडियन, जाने वाकर।
ये मेरी जो भाभियां हैं ये प्रसन्न रहेंगी तो मुझे ठीक से खिलाएंगी, तो इसलिए मैं तो अपनी सारी भाभियों की चमचागिरी करती हूँ।
मैं तो चला जिधर चले रास्ता।
You can't be a successful MP without your wife, huh?
I can't be successful anything without my wife.
शॉर्टकट में सबको खुश करने के लिए चल धन्नो आज तेरी इज्जत का सवाल है।
See, whenever you play golf, you forget about anything. You forget even your own wife also.
Most handsome MP in Parliament.
Manoj Tiwari.
Watch It's My Life at these times only on Rajya Sabha television.
Welcome back. Now, in a boost to India's bid for an NSG membership, China, for the first time, has said that the door was open for discussions on the issue. However, China also pushed for Pakistan's bid to join the group, defending the country's nuclear record. The discussions on India's membership will take place in an expert-level meeting on the 21st and 22nd of June, preceding the plenary session in Seoul.
India's hopes of making it to the nuclear suppliers group became more realistic after China changed its stance on India, saying doors were open for discussions on the issue. Just on Monday, Beijing had said that India's application to join the group was not on the agenda of the bloc's annual plenary scheduled to meet this week in Seoul. China, which leads a group of nations opposing India's membership, however, asked the 48-member NSG to stay focused on whether the criteria should be changed for entry of non-NPT countries into the elite group. China is also pushing for its ally Pakistan's bid to join the group and defended the country's non-proliferation record. China argued that any exemption to India for NSG entry should also be given to Pakistan. Pakistan had applied for NSG membership a week after India submitted its membership application. Meanwhile, the US has once again expressed its complete support to India's bid and requested other NSG members to consider India's application in the plenary meet.
We believe, and this has been U.S. policy for some time, that India is ready for membership, and the United States calls on participating governments to support India's application at the plenary later this week.
To further push India's bid, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be meeting Chinese President Xi Jinping on the sidelines of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit in Tashkent on Thursday. India has asserted that being a signatory to the NPT is not essential for joining the NSG, as there has been a precedent in this regard, citing the case of France. A seat at the NSG would strengthen India's geopolitical clout and help it capitalize on nuclear trade and technology transfer opportunities. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Meanwhile, tension in South China Sea has escalated after North Korea showed signs of attempting to conduct a new ballistic missile launch. According to South Korean officials, there are possible indications that North Korea has moved an intermediate-range missile to the east coast of the country, posing threat to its neighbors. South Korea, however, was unable to confirm a missile launch, but warned of taking action against North if it defies the international community's restrictions. Previously, North Korea had failed in 4 attempts to launch its Masudan missile, which has the range to reach any part of Japan and a part of U.S. territory, Guam.
우리 정부는 북한의 미사일 추가 발사 가능성을 염두에 두고 관련 징후를 면밀히 추적하고 있습니다. 만약에 북한이 미사일을 또 추가 발사한다면 그것은 국제사회의 거듭된 경고를 무시하는 것이 되고.
And now for more updates from across the world, let's get you Global Buzz. 6 border guards were killed and 14 wounded in Jordan after a car bomb attack. The car, laden with explosives, exploded near a camp for Syrian refugees in a remote area between Syria and Jordan. No terrorist group has claimed responsibility for the blast so far. A man wearing a fake explosive belt triggered a major security alert and an emergency meeting of key government ministers after claiming that he was going to blow up outside a central Brussels shopping centre. Belgium is on its second highest security alert level since the suicide attacks of 22nd of March that killed 32 people and injured hundreds in Brussels. Extra police and military have been mobilized, guarding key buildings, nuclear plants and parts of the transport network. The US Senate has once again rejected proposals to restrict gun sales, including the restriction of weapon sales to people on terrorism watch lists. The move to put restrictions on guns came after the Orlando shooting, which killed 49 people and injured more than 50 on the 12th of June. A massive fire broke out in San Gabriel Mountains area of Los Angeles in California, destroying more than 800 hectares of land. In fact, the fire took place after a vehicle caught fire near the forest. While people have been evacuated as a safety procedure, firefighters are working to control the fire. A British national was arrested by Las Vegas police after trying to wrestle a gun on US Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump. He was arrested last week at the Treasure Island Hotel in Las Vegas after trying to disarm a police officer. He was charged with an act of violence on restricted ground. And now let's take a look at what's making headlines in the world of sports in SportsBeat. Russian tennis star Maria Sharapova's lawyer has blasted WADA chief Craig Reedy for making remarks about the five-time Grand Slam champion's earnings. Speaking at a WADA symposium in London on Monday, Reedy said, and in fact complained, that his organization's yearly budget of $30 million was potentially less than Sharapova's annual earnings. Sharapova's lawyer, John Haggerty, demanded an apology from the WADA chief. Wales swept past Russia with a breathtaking 3-0 winning display in their final group game to reach the knockout stages of Euro 2016. Wales midfielder Aaron Ramsey dinked the ball over Igor Akinfeev to finish off with an early goal in the 11th minute. Wales will now play one of the third-place sides in Paris on Saturday. In another match, England and Slovakia both settled for a goalless draw. England will now play their last 16 game next Monday against the side that finishes second in Group F, most likely against Hungary or Portugal. However, Slovakia will have to wait to find out if they finish as one of the four best third-place sides who progress. USA and Argentina will battle it out against each other for the first time at the Copa America semi-final on Tuesday night. Argentina is bidding to end their 23-year major trophy drought. It last won the Copa America, beating Mexico 2-1 in the 1993 final. The USA coach, on the other hand, said that Argentina was beatable and called his men to go in for the jugular at the right time. All right, that's all we have for you in the news tonight. Thanks so much for joining us.